Welcome in, everybody, to our next installment of the Rubin Dream Job webinar series. I'm your host, Danny Rubin, the founder of Rubin. We provide employability skills curriculum to CTE programs and post-secondary programs around the country, helping students write and speak professionally. And I'm sure we're going to talk all about that today with Dawn and Amy about working as a certified nursing assistant and the skills, the soft skills that come along with a job like that, along with all the medical training. So we appreciate you being here with us for today's conversation. Before we dive in, I want to share that. Can I see a show of hands here? How many of you have been to our webinars before? Let me see some Zoom hands. Who's been here before? All right, see some hands, and raise your hand if you're first timer. First time to the Dream Job sessions. All right. So we do these Dream Job interviews every other week during the fall and spring semester live. And then we put the recordings in a pretty awesome archive. And I would encourage you right now, click on the link I just gave you in the chat, teachers especially, and just bookmark it. Look at it later, but bookmark it. We put all of our past conversations and links to the ones that coming up to sign up for, all in one place. We've had now, this is the 82nd episode. All right, we have 81 other people in our archive, everything from health science to technology, marketing, sports, hospitality, the trades, all kinds of people. So hang on to that website because it's a great place to go find a previous conversation and listen to it anytime you want. They all have sign language like we have today. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. Now, we will talk with Dawn about her career in just a few minutes. I first want to bring in Amy Warner, the State Director for HOSA, Future Health Professionals, from the great state of Oklahoma. And Amy, you can tell us where you're sitting right now. I think that's a funny little backstory, and it connects to HOSA. So tell us where you're sitting and give us just a little bit about what HOSA is for those who are unfamiliar.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Rubin. Well, as you mentioned, I'm the state director of HOSA from Oklahoma, and I happen to be sitting in a representative's office at our Oklahoma state capitol. We had a day today where our health science education groups, our HOSA members, came to the Oklahoma Capitol and met their legislators, got to hear from their legislators, and spoke about all the things health science within our laws and upcoming laws. So it was a great day for education. It was a great day to network and build relationships. Which is a lot of what HOSA is about. And so the organization that I'm a part of is HOSA Future Health Professionals. And we are the only career and technical student organization that is 100% dedicated to healthcare. And in a time where we are in a severe healthcare workforce shortage, HOSA, we believe, is the answer to mitigating that shortage. HOSA is one of those things that should enhance what's already happening in our health science education programs, not an extra, but an enhancement. And we like to say that a lot of times our technical training and our programs will get those jobs, and our HOSA soft skills, the life skills that we impart with our programming and our competitive events, that's what will allow you to keep those jobs.
Right.
So we have over 100 different competitive events that students can be a part of, anything from skills events. We do have a nursing assisting skill event where you train on do those skills just like you would do a skills checkoff within your classroom. But we also have things like public service announcement and public health and nutrition and anatomy and physiology. So many things. Like I said, over 100 competitive events. And we really just impart our core values in everything we do. And that is to learn, lead, serve, and innovate. And we believe that if you're hitting those core values, then once you get into that healthcare workforce, you're going to be successful.
Wonderful. And I shared the screen and I shared some links in the chat. If you want to find your charter, tell them what a chartered association is quickly, Amy.
So a chartered association is basically at a state or a country level because we are an international organization. And so, for instance, Oklahoma, if you were to go to that chartered association section of the HOSA.org website and go to Oklahoma, it would give you my contact information so that I could contact with you and connect with you to get you the information you needed to start a chapter or to answer any questions you have about your existing chapter.
So much, and looking forward to having you part of our conversation. You have plenty of experience with CNA as well, so we'll keep you close as we talk. But please, teachers, check out HOSA, check out your state association, see how your school can be involved if you're not already. How many folks are here from HOSA? Tell us in the chat who is connected to HOSA, who's with us today. Let me hear from you in the chat as we talk. I know we have a lot of HOSA folks in the building today, as they say. So as we wait for that, there we go. We have some people coming through. I'll bring in Dawn. And Dawn, thank you so much for being with us today. I know you're in the middle of your busy week and you're dressed for work and you made time for us. So we so appreciate that. Tell us about your career so far as a certified nursing assistant. Just, hit kind of the highlights along the way and tell us what you're doing today in your job.
Yep. So I've been a CNA for over 25 years, and I'm actually a hospice aide. And also too, I work in a nursing home, and I do private duty. And I just love like caring for people. Giving them a good quality of life, making them feel like they even though they have to go to a facility, just making them feel comfortable, building a relationship with them. And just, letting them know that they're still, even though, you still need some assistance, I'm here just to assist you, not to take over. Just, letting them feel like this is like your home when you're in the facility.
I like that.
Yeah. And just making them feel like wanted, making them feel like they still have family, just trying to I actually carry a notepad and I write down little different ideas of things that they like, the music that they like, things they like to do, things they like to eat. And I just try to, make them feel comfortable, let them enjoy, letting them continue on enjoying life.
But you said something in there that Amy spoke about too, which is building relationships and using your medical skills and your people skills and combining those to be effective in your job. And I think that's a lot of what we want to talk about today, as well as what it takes to become a CNA. And also while you're in the role, the constant education, that you need to have so that you are up to date. So as we start to talk to Dawn and Amy, I would ask the teachers and students to now please go to the Q&A along the bottom of Zoom. And I want you to start putting your questions. And when you write your question, please put your name and your school so we can give you credit for your question. So start putting your questions as we go. And Dawn, let me start back with you. So think back to when you started in your role. It's been years, right? And what was the training like back then? Can you think back? What did you have to go through? What was the training like? And what was that experience for you?
Giving someone a bath, just, learning the different techniques to make clients feel comfortable, the patient feel comfortable, actually talking and communicate with them. Learned a lot of that from the teacher because it's not just, you just going in, giving someone a bath, getting report from the teacher, asking them their name and, giving them their privacy, asking them what they want, the times and stuff that they want, not just coming in like, oh, we're going to do a bath. That's not, that's not what it's about. As far as eating, learn from the teacher, learning the amount, recording the amount that they eat, that they drink, Learning how to transfer them properly in the chair, making sure you put the lock on the wheelchair. I learned a lot, a lot. It's very important about going to school.
And you talk about using listening skills, right? Not just walking in there and saying, this is how it's going to be, but listening very carefully. So do you find yourself every day having to listen very carefully for what the patient or the client is saying to you?
Yes. Certain clients like to get up at different times. Some clients like to get up early, and some clients like to get up later. Some clients like even with bath in them, some clients might want to shower. Learn that in school about the proper way of putting them in the shower, not just go walk in the shower, transferring, learn that from the teacher. Some clients like certain things in the morning. Some clients might just want a cup of coffee. Sometimes the nurse can let me know the person might be a diabetic. So, I get that from the teacher, get that from the nurse, communication skills, knowing that this person needs to eat a little bit earlier than the other clients. It's just, a lot of, you have to keep a lot of relationship with the client, the nurse, even when I'm going in homes, the families.
Yeah.
Looking at the plan of care. You usually have a plan of care telling you exactly everything that you need to do. Learning that a lot in CNA training about the plan of care. If a person has a Foley, it's a bag that they urinate
Foley
in.
bag. Okay.
Yes. And also too, making sure that the person is being changed. Also too, if you see anything, making sure that you report it to the nurse. Any type of behaviors, any type of marker, something they have on their skin, or if a patient lets you know they're not feeling well, making sure that that's reported to the supervisor. Because in the plan of care, it might be different things that you have to do to make them feel better.
Thank you. Great answer. And Amy, I want to just ask you to add on to that. I know you taught a class to help people become a CNA. What would you add to that discussion about being a great listener, being careful with these relationships and having to deal with multiple parties in the course of the day? What's your thought there?
I think one of the greatest attributes that our students can learn is that of empathy, and being able to work not only with their clients, but their peers as well, and understanding that it's about the patient, it's not about you and your preferences. And so that's something that they'll learn in both a long-term CNA course as well as a short course. Some of the year-long CNA courses are going to have the pieces of A&P and MedTerm and that kind of thing. And some of your short courses are just going to be your skills training, which your skills training is typically going to take place in an educational institution. It can have some simulation, but then it'll also have clinical hours that will be on site at a facility where you have real patients in your care while you're training. And so that's an ideal time to be able to have those hard conversations with some of our students of, there's nonverbal as well. So you've got to watch your face sometimes. And you've got to know they're nonverbal. And so they may not tell you that they're hurting, but their face can tell you that they're hurting. And so learning all of those little nuances that go along with verbal and nonverbal communication is huge. But then having that empathy of, if this was your loved one in this bed or going through this therapy, are you treating them in a way that you would want to be treated or want your loved one to be treated?
Thank you. Great answers. I do want to give a credit. Isabella Cheeks from Briarwoods High School, she asked the question about people skills. So I want to, even though we got into it, I want to say that was her question. So thank you for that question. Question for Dawn from Stelliana from, I think, ORCA. What does your daily schedule look like? What on an average day, like today, yesterday, what does it look like? What are you doing?
Right now I'm doing hospice right now.
What is hospice, Dawn? Can you tell us what hospice means?
Hospice is like end of life care.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that someone has like 1 day or 2 days. Some people can have like a year 6 months, 3 months, but just giving them good quality of care. Usually how I start off the day is my supervisor gives us a plan of care. So they tell me everything about like what to do, like about bathing the patient, about maybe the patient might need some assistance with feeding. I usually will change the bed, change the linen. Some patients want to get up. So just knowing the proper skills as far as transferring them in the chair. Some people can't eat in the bed. And also too, just giving them like, having that relationship with them, just like letting them know that you don't have to give up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here to encourage you. Sometimes when my patients are feeling a little down, I put like a little bit of music on for them. Ask them, do they want to listen to some music? Or sometimes in my schedule, what I do is I might sit down and drink like a cup of tea or something with them. They might be feeling a little down or something like that. And also too, if there's anything going on, I let the nurse know. They might not be feeling well. They might be a little agitated today. If they are, they might want to just lay down in the bed and might not want to get up today. So I clean them up very good. Make sure that they're cleaned, and as far as skin, make sure that their skin is lotioned down. I do mouth care. Make sure that the mouth care is done. If they want their hair done, I kind of go over and beyond. I have some people that might want their hair curled. Some people might, have their hair curled. I might, just give them that extra touch. Some people might just want their hair brushed or something like that. Some people just put a little bit of water on it, lay it down, So that's pretty much what I do. But when I leave, I make sure that everything is done. Make sure they have their call bell to make sure that they can, if they need some help or some assistance. I make sure a phone is beside them. Make sure that they can get to someone if they need help.
Thank you.
And I make sure that they can get to everything. If they have like a bag they might want to get to, like a bag where they might do crossword puzzles or anything like that. Make sure they can get to everything. Water. Make sure they have they might have snacks. Make sure I give them a fresh pitcher of ice water, and just make them feel comfortable so when I leave, they can be able to get to everything.
Very visual. I could see the whole day. One other quick question for you. Emily Neer asked, what kind of facilities have you worked in? And you told me you've worked in a nursing home. What other types of facilities have you been in your job so far?
Nursing homes, assisted livings, not too much in the hospital, but I have been in a hospital, not too much in the hospital.
Okay. Amy, we had the question. I'll find out who it's from. We have so many good questions in here. Crystal Payton asked, what kind of education do you need? Someone else asked a similar question. Do you need college degree? Do you need a high school diploma? What's required, Amy?
Typically, it's a high school diploma or equivalent, but you don't have to in lots of cases. I know a lot of my junior high school students as 16 and 17-year-olds can work and do work as CNAs. And so you've got to pass your certification training, have had all of your appropriate clinical hours, and then be given basically the deeming that the state believes that you can do that position and you can go to work. Lots of our students are going to be career CNAs, but then you've also got a lot of students that are using their CNA as an opportunity to get patient care experience, as a lot of medical schools now are requiring that those who are applying have CNA experience. And so it can take you so many different places, whether they're wanting to go on and be an RN or an NP, or go on to medical school. CNA is where it all starts.
Wow. So you can use a CNA as a stepping stone to go to medical school. That's wow. That's great to know. And good question here from Grace Robinson. Thank you, Grace. Question for Dawn. Do nursing assistants have the same scheduling as nurses? Like, do you work 3 12-hour shifts sometimes like a nurse, or is your schedule more 5 days a week? What's your schedule like, Dawn?
You can actually have different schedules. Right now, I'm Monday through Friday, pretty much 7 to 3. They have nursing homes where you can do like 12-hour shifts. I found a lot of people do that when they're in school. They have 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7, and that's pretty much hours.
Yeah. Question here, and I was thinking about it too. Selena Singh, thank you, Selena. Dawn, you're working in hospice, and you're working with people who may be near the end of their lives.
Mhm.
And do you grow close to these people? Is it hard when they pass? Have you learned to kind of make a separation? Like, this is my job. I'm not going to get too close. How do you manage those emotions?
I'm really strong in my faith, but to be honest and stuff, just caring for the patient. And when I first start off with them and everything, they might be able to walk or, able to sit up. And what happens is, unfortunately, when they start kind of like going down, and everything, they let you know that I have fought this fight for a long time. And Dawn, I don't have a quality of life to be here just laying in the bed and not being able to take care of myself. So it's like, when you work up a relationship with the patient, they start letting you know that, that's like having good communication skills and, not just going in, I'm going to come here and do a bath. But when you start getting that relationship, you can be able to kind of like know when it's time to let go. Because when a client is telling you, I'm tired, I'm like, okay, and I know I've done my job, and they're saying, we done everything for you. You done everything for us, but it's time for us to go to our next chapter in life.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you for that. We talk about sort of soft skills and listening skills in all of our conversations, but this one I think is probably the most delicate of any, because it's not just about a customer service listening skills. This is about someone's life, their health, at the most sensitive moment of of their lives, and you have to be so like leaned in and like careful at what they're telling you,
Yeah.
and their families telling you. I think it is the highest level of soft skills. Would you agree with that, Amy?
100%. It's one thing to, go to a tradesman and have a job done, and it's another to take care of someone's loved one and have literally their life in your hands. And we're just so thankful to be a part of this healthcare community. And most of our individuals that are remaining in healthcare will tell you that it's a calling. It's something that fulfills them personally, knowing that they are making a difference in someone's life. And in order for them to be able to have that moment, we've got to equip them with the tools necessary to be successful. And so these employability skills are huge for the success of our students.
Thank you for that. We have lots of questions. I'm trying my best to cover as many as I can from the students. Barsenya asked, Dawn, what classes do you recommend students take in high school?
Um, well, they have the CNA training there, and from my understanding too, you have the nursing. So when you go into the LPN program and everything, the CNA comes connected with that. So that's in high school.
Well, there's lots of really good questions here. I want to touch on as many as I can. Dia Cotwall, Khalsa Community, Brampton, says, how do you deal with difficult patients? Do you need to use a firm and authoritative voice? How do you handle the tough ones?
Okay. Well, you can't use that type of voice.
Okay.
You can't use that type of voice and everything. That's when you get your notebook and my little pad right here, and you kind of like what you do is you get a report and you talk to the nurse and let the nurse give you all the background and everything. And then what you try to do is you try to go in to get like a little bit of a relationship with them, letting them know that I'm not here, I mean, the biggest question they always ask, I'm a visual person. They always say, "Oh, you're here to do a bath." And I'm like, "No, I'm here to assist you with a bath. I'm not here to take over." Letting them feel that they have control, letting them feel like they feel comfortable, And then once you start doing that and everything, you can start off with maybe, you have the ones that's like, "I'm adamant, I'm not taking a bath." And I say, "Well, let's start off with soaking your feet. Let's start off with putting your hands in some water and warming your hands up." If they start off saying, "No, I'm not going to do that," let's start off with a cup of coffee. I have to go back the other way, a cup of
Yeah.
coffee.
Take a
And
step back.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, they might still be like, "No, I don't want to." So then I start talking to them, asking them about, what type of music do you like to listen to? "Oh, I remember that." I put the music on. And then when I start building up that relationship, then they ask me, "Okay, now what are you here for?" And I'm saying, "Just for a little bit of a sponge bath." Just a sponge bath, I can do that, you know.
Say to students, like these skills are not just for like hospice or in-home care or nursing.
Yeah.
These are skills for dealing with people in general about how to get something accomplished and make it feel like it's their idea or that they're comfortable with it. These are just good. This is just good stuff.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Dawn, student Annalise Gettier, if I pronounce that right, she said, "What is a skill you feel is more learned rather than taught?" Would you say what you just said is a skill that's learned through time, how to kind of handle each person in their own unique way? You had to learn that kind of on the job a little bit?
Yeah. Yes. Today I actually had a learning experience today. I had a client that he's on the Alzheimer's floor.
Primers like
And
memory issues.
yes, thank you, sir.
Yes.
And yes, so I built a relationship with him knowing that he likes cinnamon buns. So I bring them. So when I bring them to him, I'm more of a visual person. When I bring that to him, he recognizes who I am. So we started off with, he was like, "Can I get my cinnamon bun?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "We're going to go ahead and do a bath." So we started off with, we got all the materials together. And I asked him to start off with, washing his face. And I wanted to wash his face, and he told me, "I'm going to do it." So saying that to say is that I had to come in the middle, like pretty much and stuff, let him know, okay, we're going to do it together. But he was letting me know I'm going to do it.
Mm.
So pretty much it's like, it's not me coming in and controlling. I gave him the nice warm washcloth, and he wanted to do it himself. You know what I'm saying? So letting him know that that's okay.
Like you said, in the middle. Like, yeah. Yeah. And that's just learned through time of how to handle. Great. Question, Amy, how did student Bushra Begum, Wayne, New Jersey, PCTI STEM Academy, said, "How do you become a CNA as a high school senior, and how much does a certification cost?" Do you know any of those details about how to obtain certification and what you can do while in high school?
So it differs by state. I know in Oklahoma, we have some specific career and technical education centers, career techs, where you get your education at those particular facilities, but not every state has that. Sometimes they're tied in with higher ed, with your community colleges. And so you would just need to reach out to your CTE head lead. And so I would just do a quick Google search of your state and career and technical education, and they'll be able to send you down the road to see that training. You can also start on the opposite side of things through the ones that would be giving you your certification test, which would be your state's Department of Health.
Thank you very much for that. And Dawn, I want to ask you one more question, and then we're going to pause just a second for a free resource for the classroom, and then we'll wrap up together. But a question from This is actually for both of you. You can both answer this. I'll start with Amy actually first. From Raveen Dillon, Khalsa Community School. What do you think will be the future of nursing with new technology? Do you think there'll be less opportunities in the future, or will the job change? Amy, your perspective first, and then Dawn, how you might interact with new technology in the last few years. But Amy, what do you think? Are there going to be fewer CNA opportunities, or will the role just change?
100% the role will just change. It will always take a human being to be able to give those activities of daily life skills. And so procedures might change, some knowledge bases might change, and training types might change, but the career field will still be very strong.
Don, do you think that a robot, no matter how well it speaks, could do what you do? And all those, like you said, meeting that man in the middle, those are soft skills. Those are those human skills. So do you think there'll always be a role for a human in providing care?
Yes, yes. Just being a CNA, you pretty much just like relationship, talking with the client, remember making them feel wanted, giving them a quality of life. A robot can't do that.
Yeah, it seems like these are the exact skills robots cannot do. What you're describing today.
Yes.
Really judging each situation carefully and making a plan in the moment. And yeah, that seems. So hopefully the student feels like it's still worth pursuing this career. There's not going to be an army of robots taking over the CNA profession anytime soon. Okay, so everybody stay here. I want to ask the teachers in the chat. Teachers, do your students ever send you emails that look like text messages? Yes or no in the chat. Do you ever get emails that look like they're texting you, not understanding the difference between an email and a text? See some yeses. So our company created a tool called Propel that teaches how to write professional emails, putting the writing, the students do all the work. I want you to watch this short video. And if you'd like free access to this tool the spring semester, we will provide it to you and I'll explain how. So one moment, please. Guides the student, sound was off. Let me show you our new Propel email etiquette tool. When we hit compose, we're shown a pop-up form which guides the student to fill in all the important sections of the email from the subject line to the conclusion with a read aloud function in every step. And for schools that use Outlook, we have Propel there too. We need a subject line. The student wrote question, lowercase q. We then need to address the person formally, but we're just going to write, hi, teacher. Student wrote good morning with a lowercase g and a sentence with no period. What's the purpose of the message? I have a question about my geometry assignment. I'm stuck on problem 3. I can't find the answer. 3 question marks. Not great. The conclusion, it's not formal, THX. Then we hit review my email. The words are formatted in the email. Check out the right side. We have light bulbs with more suggestions. By the subject line, your subject line is too short. Capitalize the first word in proper nouns. So we want the student to come over and change the subject line. Address the teacher with a formal title. Hi, Miss Smith. Capitalize the first word of a sentence. We want the student to come over, capitalize. Well, what about the end of the sentence? We're missing a period. Place the period. What about these 3 question marks? That could be unprofessional. Remove 2 of them. And finally, the THX, also not professional. Write out the word thanks. Propel teaches a student how to write an email, and the student does all the work. The teachers in the chat, would this type of resource be helpful to you and your students to help them shape emails that they would send to you or to medical professionals? Colleges, let me know in the chat, yes or no, if that would be a helpful tool to have in the classroom. So the opportunity here, and thank you for replying, if you would like to provide this tool to your students at no cost this semester, I want you right now to go, and this is for the teachers, please, not students. Have your teacher book this meeting. Go to our calendar, book a 10-minute meeting, and our team will provide the tool to you so you can use it and share it with your school. Okay, so take advantage of that right now while we're live together and just pick a time off that calendar. Now, as well, let me return to our conversation and bring back in Dawn and Amy. I think that we've really discussed the importance today of medical training and people skills. And let me just bring in a couple more questions from the students as we start to wrap up. Let me see another good one. 1 second. Okay. So question for you, Dawn. If you were to go back to high school, relive that journey, would you make any changes as you prepared for this role? Would you have taken more medical classes earlier? What would you have done differently if you were in high school right now?
I definitely would have signed up for the nursing program. Think they have an LPN program. I definitely would have signed up for that.
Okay.
And then from there, I would have just probably went to go talk to my counselor to find out, what to do to continue on in the medical field. But I definitely would have done that. Definitely, if I had to turn the hands of time back.
Thank you. And Amy, Rebecca H asked a question. My mom did CNA for special needs children. Is that still an option? And is there extra training required? Can you speak to working with students, or children or adults with special needs?
Absolutely. It still just requires a basic CNA certification, and then that special needs deeming can be done through on the job training.
Okay, thank you. And Dawn, we can wrap up on this. You've done this job for several years now, and you wake up every day and you do it. So, and from the outside looking in, it looks like a tough job. It's challenging situations at times, and people who used to be very strong and independent, and suddenly, they need your help, and that can be a difficult place to meet somebody for the first time. So, why do you keep doing it?
I like what Miss Amy said. Is definitely a calling. You have to have a calling, a heart to want to, care for people, compassion, and treating people how you want to be treated. I wouldn't have life no other way. I really enjoy being a CNA. I do. I love caring for people.
Your advice today, your anecdotes, and what you've learned. Thank you, Amy, for being here. You're now free to leave the Capitol building in Oklahoma. Thank you, Trisha, for your sign language. Again, the 2 links in the chat. One, if you'd like free access to our email teaching tool. And the second is to bookmark our webinar library so you can watch more of these conversations on your own schedule. They're here for you. And we will continue with our series in 2 weeks. On the 26th of February, we're talking to an event planner. She puts on an event called the North American Sand Soccer Championships. It is a soccer tournament on the beach, and there's over 100,000 people who come. It's in Virginia, and she runs the whole thing. So we're going to talk to her about putting on large-scale events and what that requires if you want to go into event planning as a career. So we hope you'll join us. Thank you to HOSA for partnering today. Thank you, Dawn, again for everything. And we will see everybody on February 26th. Thank you again. Have a great day.